Welcome back to episode 7 of Inside Raider Nation with Coach John Lindsey. I'm your host, Mike Prater, and as always, here today with me is the head coach of East Paulding football, Coach John Lindsey. Thanks for being back again, Coach. Well, this is a double show right now because our schedules didn't work out last week to be able to get together to talk about Paulding County. So let's roll right into the Paulding County game. Talk a little bit about our boys' play on Friday night at Paulding County. We came away with a big region victory, a big in-county victory. Tell me a little bit about what you think some of the keys to that game were and some of the things you liked that you saw.
Well, Paulding, Paulding's a good football team, as they showed this past week. I felt like our kids were real focused going into the game. I thought, that we kind of got up for the game. I know Paulding had beat them the year before, and I think it left a nasty taste in their mouth, and they wanted to get that out. And so we had a good focus. We had a great game plan going in, and the kids executed it, and we limited turnovers. And when you do that, we didn't have a ton of penalties, and good things happen. So. Paulding County game, I felt like we played pretty well. I mean, put up 35 points, and Paulding County's a never say die kind of football team. They kept battling back, and we would score, and luckily we got out a little bit of lead because they would score with us. So, good football team.
Well, I don't know if it was our best yardage-wise offensive performance, but I think we looked really clean and crisp in the Paulding County game. And that was the cleanest we've looked so far. Paulding County had a couple real good players, the quarterback, the wide receiver, and I think we limited them. And of course, you see we got another trophy on the trophy case here. We're going to have to get a bigger set, Coach. We're running out of room here.
That's a good problem.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have.
That's
I agree. Welcome to our latest episode of Inside the Locker Room with Raider Nation. Today with us we have number 6 defensive safety, corner, and outside linebacker, Deshaun McNair. Thanks for coming on the show, Deshaun.
Thanks for inviting me.
Well, Deshaun, you've been playing for the Raiders for 4 years now at the high school level. Tell me a little bit about your career prior to coming to East Paulding, where you played and how long you've been playing.
Well, I started with the Cougars. Well, first I started at California Park with Hiram Hornets.
Right.
Then we moved over to the Cougars for 1 year. Played a little youth ball with you guys for a while. So I moved to Cobb County. I was playing with South Cobb Rec for a little while, played there. Then I stopped playing about 7th, 8th grade. Then I moved over here, started again 9th grade year, and I just enjoyed it ever since then.
So you came back home?
Yes, sir.
That's good. That's good. We're glad you came back. I remember when I saw you out there, I was like, I know that kid. I know that kid. Well, you've had a real good season so far this year. They've moved you around several different positions wherever they need you. Tell me a little bit about what you've learned this year as far as lessons in football, lessons about life, being out there with your teammates on the field.
One life lesson I learned there: you got to give it all every snap. Like you can't miss a snap, because in the blink of an eye, it's over. Like you never know, because for my senior year, it's flying by for me. So I'm ready at every game. I'm ready. So I got to play my hardest. And with my team, I experienced my best moments came with my team. So as long as we play hard every game, we come focused every game, every practice, every day, we'll be fine.
Right.
Play as long as we can, we'll be fine.
Well, they say your senior year flies.
Yes.
I mean, and it's you look at it and we're already halfway through the season, and it feels like it just started yesterday. Now we had a couple big wins. This is episode 7. We're actually on week 8, but we missed last week's episode. Came away with a win against Paulding County 2 weeks ago,
yes, sir.
And then a win Friday night against Chapel Hill. Tell me a little bit about what you think some of the keys to our success over the past 2 weeks have been.
I think we played well as a team. We gave it all. Our offense played outstanding both games. Gave it they all. Played hard every play. Our defense stepped up when we needed them, especially in the Paulding County game. When we wasn't scoring as fast as we needed to, our defense we had to stay more than 10 plays out there, so we had to play our hardest. When they got big plays, we didn't give up. We just played hard every play. It
seemed like against Paulding County, really the only plays that they could get off were interference penalties, right? I mean, they were giving those things out like candy. Yeah. And, I was watching the game. I was there filming, and I thought you did an excellent job covering number 82.
Yes,
but,
sir.
Sometimes you can't change what the refs think. We're going into Friday night. We've got Lithia Springs. We kind of call that a trap game sometimes, because you can fall asleep on a team who's got a losing record and think, hey, I'm just going to go in here, we're going to coast along. What are y'all doing this week to kind of prevent from getting into that trap and going out and having struggles on Friday night?
Coming out every practice and staying focused. We can't take no team lightly, because even when we think they're bad, they might come out and give us a shot. And we just go out and play hard every play. while we at practice, keep our head on straight, no playing around, no goofing around, make everybody better, especially the scout team. We wouldn't be here without them because they making us better every play, like every day.
Right.
And all we got to do is just stay focused. Like, that's the only thing that matters right now.
Now, I've asked several of the kids this. What do you think is the difference in this team this year versus the previous couple years you've been here?
Discipline, discipline, discipline. Like, if we do one bad thing wrong, we start over, do it again. Like, this is the first year I really took weight training serious because it helps, like, in the game, because I can be tired and I just think about all the things that we did in the summer. Everything that we did in the summer, like, we worked hard to get where we are now. Like, we lost a game and we coming back harder, like, and harder and harder every game,
right,
to prepare for the playoffs because it's gonna get even harder. Yeah. So we just playing our best. Like, if we can't fold now, we can't.
Right. Now, moving forward after you graduate high school, do you have plans to try to play at the next level?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any interest from any schools yet?
Well, I got KSU. I got a couple of North Carolina schools, NC State, all those. And I want to try to play at either Ole Miss or Mississippi State over there. I just want to, like, experience other than Paulding County. I want to get away because, you know, if you stay here, you get trapped with your friends. You just got to move on, experience the world. And that's what I want to do.
Yeah, it'd be good to get out and see a different part of the country. Well, I think you've done a great job. It's good to see you back home playing for the Raiders, and I look forward to seeing you out there this Friday night. That's Deshaun McNary, number 6, senior safety, corner, and outside linebacker for the East Paulding Raiders. Thanks to Deshaun.
Thank you, Mike.
And we all became Paulding County fans on Friday night.
Yeah, we sure did.
Paulding County did us a little bit of a favor in beating South. A lot of people looked at it as an upset, but like you said, Paulding County's a really good football team.
Yeah, they're not a bad football team.
The good thing about that now is we kind of control our own destiny. We have the benefit that if we do things the way we should, it's all in our hands for the region. So that's a good thing moving forward.
If my good buddy's watching this, Bill Bars from Ocilla, Georgia, he knows what my answer is going to be because I tell him all the time, you know, he would interview me and he would ask me about weeks down the road, and I always told him, 1 week at a time, Bill. So I'm going to tell you the same thing. 1 week at a time. You know, Lithia Springs is coming up, and, you know, everything's lined. The stars are lined, but we're looking at Lithia Springs.
What's funny is, you know, Bill friended me on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, he put me on Facebook, said you're going to really enjoy interviewing and talking with Coach Lindsey each week.
Bill's a good guy. Yeah, he would always give me a hard time. I know, Coach, you're not going to talk about down the road, but.
You hear that, Bill? He's talking directly to you. Well, okay, so we're not going to talk about down the road, but we're going to talk about the next week that we played Chapel Hill. We came here home. It was homecoming game against Chapel Hill. You know, me and you had talked a little bit about Chapel Hill, and we watched them play Alexander on tape, and they really took Alexander right to the end. I knew going into that game it was going to be a tough contest. Tell me a little bit about how we executed so well against them.
You know, as I watched them, they got better during the week. I mean, it was amazing. You know, I watched them on Saturday and watched them, you know, obviously every day. And every day I'd watch them tell the kids, man, they get better every day. I said, you know, look at this, look at that. And, you know, it's funny when you start watching a team that way and you just see little things that start sticking out to you that you didn't notice to begin with. Physical football team. Coach over there's done a good job with them. And, you know, they played physical. Their D-line squeezed great, all of our down blocks, and you know, took away some things that we wanted to do, but we were able to be physical and run the football. And to me, that's what made a difference in the game. We out-physicaled them, and, you know, I'm kind of proud of that. When you can out-physical somebody, you know, it gives you a big advantage. So I was proud of that, and, you know, once again was able to take care of the football. We actually, you know, got the ball some from them, so, you know, it was good. Turnovers were in our favor.
Yeah, we had a couple big turnovers in the game. Cruz Paul, I think, came in with 2 interceptions. Caleb Whitley had an interception also. And, you know, we've talked many times about finding Raider football. And each week, to me, it just seems like it's more and more defined. And I think what Raider football is controlling the line of scrimmage and pushing people around and running the ball hard from what I've seen. We talked a little bit about Cruz Paul. I talked about his 2 interceptions. You got a few injuries going into this week against Lithia Springs. Can you update us a little bit on some of the injuries we have and what we're looking like? I know you next man up philosophy, but tell us a little bit about that.
Our next man, we're starting to see the last man, I'm afraid. You know, we got several banged up right now. Cruz Paul's banged up. We're still uncertain on his status right now, but he had a pretty good injury Friday night after he played so well. But, you know, got a few more that are limping and you know, sprained MCL and, you know, shoulder injury, and we had two hips hurt last week, and you know, some of it's healing up, some of it's not going as fast as I want it to be, and you know, we're just thin right now. We really have a thin sophomore class. So, you know, what I'd like to happen is some of these sophomores be able to step up and play. You know, start getting that playing time. It's not a sophomore season anymore. When you get to this point, you know, you're beyond just a sophomore, but we just really don't have those kids in the program right now. We're missing, you know, that sophomore class is a thin group of kids, and so it's hurting us right now depth-wise. We don't have the depth that I really wish we had.
Right, our numbers are a little bit low, and I think our student body's down around the 14s.
No, we're around 16.
Are we around 16?
Yeah, we're around.
Okay.
We've had some move-ins, move-outs, and what have you, but we're around 1,600 somewhere.
Okay, so we're still steadily in the
we
5A region.
Yeah, we just football-wise, we're just thin in that sophomore class. Our freshmen, we have 47 freshmen out. You know, and our junior classes and senior class are they're big classes, but you know, you just have that sometimes. You have a small class.
Right. We're here back inside the locker room with senior inside linebacker, defensive lineman, and fullback and tailback, all-around utility player, KODY Brown. KODY, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you coming on. So tell me a little bit about your background, KODY. I know that you played your rec ball outside of the county for a while. Tell me a little about where you started rec ball, how old you were, and how you ended up here in Paulding at East Paulding.
Well, I started playing when I was in Tallahassee, Florida. I moved here around when I was 8. Then I played with the Jonesboro Gators for about 3 years. Played with Billard for a year, and I've been playing at East Paulding since 7th grade.
Okay, so you've been here since 7th grade.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I remember you in 7th grade and 8th grade. I think you might have run over a couple of my players once or twice back then. So now you've played many roles on the defense for us and on the offense.
Yes,
tell me a little bit about the defense this year and what you think are the keys to why we're so successful on that side of the ball.
Discipline and flying to the ball. That's all there is to it.
Right. Now, yeah, I mean, you definitely fly around to the ball and make a big impact when you get there, too.
Yes,
as far as the offense goes, we're getting ready to go into Lithia Springs game. You know, we've come off of a 2-win run right now with Paulding and Chapel Hill. Getting ready to go into the Lithia Springs game. What do you think we need to concentrate on trying to accomplish this Friday night?
Just to be disciplined. Take no plays off.
Right.
You take a play off, they get a big play, touchdown. So, I mean, just call a trap game for a reason.
Yep. That's right. I mean, you can't overlook these games and start looking to the next week, because if you mess up in a game like this, the next week might not really matter.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any plans moving forward after school? Are you looking at playing at the next level? Do you have any interest right now?
Right now it's Shorter, Valdosta State, Alcorn State, and Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky?
Yes, sir.
Catamounts? Is that what they are?
No, the Hilltoppers.
The Hilltoppers, okay. Now, what are you looking to study when you go to school? You got a certain profession you're wanting to go into?
Forensic science.
Forensic science? So
Yes,
it'd be
sir.
like CSI?
Criminal Minds. Yeah.
Criminal Minds?
Yes, sir.
Maybe be on a TV show?
Maybe.
So tell me a little bit about how you like being on the offensive side of the ball. I know you've gotten some limited carries this year.
Yes, sir.
You think you're going to see a little bit more time as the season progresses?
I hope so. I've been practicing for it. You never know when you need that practice.
Right.
Yes,
Well, it'd be nice to be able to get you to hammer it in down there on the
Yes,
goal
sir.
line a couple times.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
rolling into the playoffs, we're definitely going to need all hands on deck on the offensive side of the ball. We've lost some players to injury so far this year, and you know, it looks like Cody Long was a little bit banged up on
just a little
Friday.
bit.
Now, how's he doing? Does he seem like he's feeling better this week? Do you think you can see more action, or you think he'll be playing more this week?
I talked to him earlier today. He said he was feeling fine, so we'll see on Friday. It's up to Coach Ryan.
Well, hopefully you'll get some reps back there and do some good things running the ball. You broke some long ones against,
Yes, sir.
what was it?
Paulding County.
Paulding County. And you needed to take a little break after a couple of them. That was some long runs.
Yes, sir.
But okay. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show. I look forward to seeing you out there the rest of the season. You had a great senior season. I'm sure we're going to be seeing your name at the next level many times, and
Yes,
it's
sir.
been a pleasure watching you play. And thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for
That's
having me.
senior defensive lineman, linebacker, and tailback KODY Brown. Now, the injury to Cruz Paul, like I said, he was really playing lights out, and I want to send out a special prayer for Cruz Paul and his family. I hope everything turns out, buddy. We're going into this coming week, Lithia Springs, and you know, we talked a little bit, and I talked to some of the players I interviewed today about not looking past a trap game. You got a team that may not necessarily have the best record, but when you watch them on tape, Coach, they've got some good athletes.
Sure.
That quarterback is a pretty good athlete, as good as many of the ones that I've seen in our region so far.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's, we're never going to look past anybody as long as I'm here. We're going to prepare the same way each week, regardless of the record. Definitely right now, we're not good enough for sure. But we're going to prepare the same way and do the same things we do every week. And that's why I told the kids. I said everybody's talking about we're lined up, the stars of a line for the region and all, and it's good. Don't get me wrong. But I told them, I said we play Lithia Springs Friday night. That's all that matters. Right. I said all that matters is we play Lithia Springs and we got to prepare for them, and that's what we're going to do. And we're going to play them Friday night, and where the cards fall after that, let them fall. But we take care of what we take care of. We'll be just fine.
We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves.
That's exactly right.
And I think you've done a great job of guiding the kids in that direction. You look at it, we've been taking the games 1 week at a time. I don't think anybody's been looking past anybody. We did have our one trip up with South, but I think it, like you said in our interview, I think it actually propelled us a little bit.
Sure, it did. You learn a lot from losses, and that one still stings a little bit because I felt like we could definitely beat them, and you never know, down the road might see them again, but we're practicing the same way every week. We're just trying to get in that routine and get fundamentally better.
We're here back inside the locker room again with senior tailback, wing, slot receiver, and outside receiver, Quentin HARDMAN, number 28. Welcome to the show, Quentin.
Hey, thank you. Nice having me.
It's good having you on. Now, tell me a little bit about your background. I know we were talking a little earlier, and I know that you didn't have a rec ball background. Tell us a little bit about when you first started playing.
I just I'd always watched football like on NFL. I used to love watching NFL. Not really a big college fan at the time, but I used to love watching NFL football. But then at the end of 8th grade, people were like, "You should play football," and I was like, I guess I could start freshman year. Started going Tuesday and Thursday weight training. I was found out this is the best thing that could ever happen to me. I had never played a sport at the time. So, and ever since then, I just love playing football, and it's an avid part of my life now. Like everything I do is football related almost.
So you've been here 4 years now. You've been with East Paulding all 4. Now, tell me a little bit about some of the lessons that football has taught you. You say you love playing the game. Tell me some of the things you've learned being out there and playing the sport.
You definitely got to be coachable. It's definitely it's one of those things. If you're not coachable, if you don't really do well with authority, but being able to get onto you, you're not really gonna like it. But once you just learn to be coachable and just listen to what some of the coaches say, you'll learn a lot and you'll get a lot better. I know that's one thing I've learned. I used to be really bad freshman year. Yeah, it was the first time ever playing. It was I had to learn to be coachable real fast. But once I did, I feel like I've gotten a lot better. I compare myself from then to now, and it's a lot better.
Yeah, I've watched you over the last couple of years, and you definitely see the improvement and the growth that you've had as a football player. Now, I've asked a couple of the other players this, and this is one of the common questions I ask. Tell me a little bit about what you think the difference in the team this year is versus the previous years that you've been here.
I think a big thing is leadership. I feel like last year, that senior class, not trying to get at them or anything like that, but they're really sluggish and just undisciplined. That's the thing, leadership and discipline. They didn't really have a lot of discipline, and then just the leadership. They'd be lazy sometimes, and we'd fall in under that,
right? And
we just think that was the way to go about it, and that's not what winning programs do. And
it would affect the underclassmen, and
exactly.
That starts at the very top with the leadership and the discipline, and I think that's one of the real benefits that Lindsey's brought to the program. Is he's brought leadership and accountability to the senior class. He makes you guys accountable for the underclassmen. So, now, tell me, are you wanting to play sports at the next level? Do you have any plans to try to play at the next level?
Yes, sir. I definitely at least want to play a couple more years in college ball. I definitely want to go and play football again sometime.
Do you have any schools that you think you may be interested in pursuing?
What's it called? I want to go. I either want to stay in Georgia. I definitely want to stay in Georgia. So I don't really have any names as far as names at the moment. But out of Georgia, I'm thinking of North Carolina Central. I got a couple emails from them wanting me to go down there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, now we got a game coming up this Friday. It's you hate to use the term, but we've used it a couple times now. It's a trap game. you know, Lithia Springs, I've watched the film on them. They've got some athletes on the team. The quarterback's a good little athlete, and you know, it's one of those games where if you go in there thinking that just because they haven't won yet that they're going to be an easy game, it's one of those things where you can get caught in a bad position. How do you think we avoid, you know, falling into a trap game this Friday night?
I definitely think we avoid the trap game by, you know, coming out here, taking every single practice, you know, every single snap, you know, like it's a great team, like it's a playoff team, maybe even, you know, just coming out here every single day, you know, no slacking, no, you know, it's all about the mindset, you know, having, you know, it's still another Friday night, it's still a game that we have to prepare for, and it doesn't matter who, you know, who we're playing, we still got to prepare for it the same exact way, and, you know, practice hard, you know, and I think we have, you know, these last, you know, Monday and Tuesday. And I think we're going to continue it for, you know, Wednesday and Thursday, you know, still come out here with a great attitude, and, you know, and then we'll see the results on Friday. Yeah,
when I was talking to Coach Lindsey last week, he was saying he felt like we're finally getting into a rhythm at practice, that it's starting to flow, and y'all know what's expected, and you go out there and you execute. So that's a good thing. It's a good thing heading into hopefully a postseason run toward the end of the year. You know, there's a video, the Boys of Fall video, where he talks about these Friday nights are going by fast. And they are, aren't they? You know, you would have never thought that 4 years ago this night would be here so quick that you're almost done with your senior season. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show. I look forward to seeing you play the rest of the season and make an impact going into the playoffs. That's number 28, Quentin HARDMAN, starting outside receiver, slot receiver, and tailback for the East Paulding Raiders.
Thank you.
Thank you, Quentin. Now, the injury to Cruz Paul, like I said, he was really playing lights out, and I want to send out a special prayer for Cruz Paul and his family. I hope everything turns out, buddy. We're going into this coming week, Lithia Springs, and you know, we talked a little bit, and I talked to some of the players I interviewed today about not looking past a trap game. You know, you got a team that may not necessarily have the best record, but when you watch them on tape, Coach, they've got some good athletes.
Sure.
That quarterback is a pretty good athlete, as good as many of the ones that I've seen in our region so far.
Oh, sure. I mean, you know, it's, you know, we're never going to look past anybody as long as I'm here. We're going to prepare the same way each week, regardless of the record. You know, definitely right now, you know, we're not good enough for sure. But you know, we're going to prepare the same way and do the same things we do every week. And you know, that's why I told the kids. I said, everybody's talking about, you know, we're lined up, the stars have aligned for the region and all, and it's good. Don't get me wrong. But I told them, I said, we play Lithia Springs Friday night. That's all that matters. Right. I said, all that matters is we play Lithia Springs, and we got to prepare for them, and that's what we're going to do. And we're going to play them Friday night, and where the cards fall after that, let them fall. But we take care of what we take care of, we'll be just fine. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. That's exactly right. And I think you've done a great job of guiding the kids in that direction. You look at it, we've been taking the games 1 week at a time. I don't think anybody's been looking past anybody. You know, we did have our one trip up with South, but I think it, like you said in our interview, I think it actually propelled us a little bit. Sure, it did. You learn a lot from losses, and you know, that one still stings a little bit because I felt like, you know, we could definitely beat them, and you know, you never know, down the road might see them again, but you know, we're practicing the same way every week. We're just trying to get in that routine and get fundamentally better. Now, you had mentioned practices to me. You said it seems like they're starting to get a groove. They're starting to get going as far as practices. What are you seeing out there that is encouraging to you? Well, you know, the kids can anticipate what's coming. And when you do that, your practices run smoother. They know where to be. They know what to expect. They know what tempo to practice at. And you know, every day, matter of fact, we talked about it today as coaches, you can't go out and grind them every day. You just can't do it. They won't last if you do that. So we go out and we have different tempos that we work at. And we're looking for certain things. You know, some days I'm looking for that physical, get after it, and some days I'm looking for, hey, let's do a little bit more alignment. Why are we running this play? Where do you need to be type day? You know, so we're trying to balance that out and teach them football. You know, just plain out teach them football. This morning we had a great film session. And you know, I feel like that when they see themselves play and you know, see that technique being used, it makes them better. So that's, you know, practice right now. We're using film on the field, a little bit of everything. Well, Coach,
we definitely think the program's going in a great direction. It's good to see the kids all working together. When I interview the seniors, they talk about the difference in the family atmosphere, the accountability, the seniors being accountable to the underclassmen, and I think it shows through in the way they played on Friday nights. We appreciate you coming on the show. We look forward to Friday night, hopefully coming away with another victory and one step closer to our goal. Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's Coach John Lindsey, Inside Raider Nation, Episode 7. We'll see everybody Friday night at Lithia Springs, 7:30 for the game.